Okay, next section, general senses. So these are not specialized. These are your general senses that are found widely throughout your body. And those would be receptors that are associated skin, touch, muscles, viscera, which would be internal organs, and then other general senses. So touch and pressure spread throughout your skin. Free nerve endings of sensory nerves are found in your skin tissue, in your epithelials. And we'll kind of look at a diagram of that. The free ends are going to be facing up towards your skin. Tactile Meissner's corpuscles are flattened connective tissue sheaths that surround two or more nerve fibers. They're abundant in hairless areas and are very sensitive to touch. So tactile corpuscles are going to be very touchy touch receptors. They are going to pick up fine touch or a light touch. Lamellated or Pacinian corpuscles are large structures of connective tissue and cells. Kind of look like an onion. They are going to be more of a deep pressure, not so much the light. So Pacinian's going to be more of a deep pressure. So if I look at these, so here's the free nerve endings that I was talking about. They are going to be up into your skin. Tactile Meissner's corpuscles are going to be very close to that upper layer of skin, where your Pacinian corpuscles are going to be found deeper. So I can see this. Pacinian is way down here, where your Meissner's is right up by the top layer of skin. So basically you can see, and here's that onion look where it has lots of layers that surround it. So two things to remember. One, tactile Meissner's, way up by the skin, light touch. Pacinian corpuscles, deeper in the skin, pick up a deeper pressure, not so much of the light touch. Temperature receptors include two groups. There are warm receptors and cold receptors. So actually your nerve endings don't pick up and interpret whether it's warm or cold. There are warm receptors and there are cold receptors. And they both work best within a range of certain temperatures. When your hands get too cold, they become what?
Purple?
How do they feel?
Stiff.
Stiff and almost numb.
Yeah.
So they work within a range of temperatures. When you get too cold, they almost become numb. Same thing if you put your hand in hot water. It's going to feel hot at first, but then you almost become numb to it once it leaves that certain range of temperatures. Both heat and cold receptors are very quick adapting receptors, which most of your receptors are anyway. Temperatures near 45 degrees Celsius stimulate pain. So once it gets too hot, it actually hurts. It burns. So when my temperatures get too high, my pain receptors are also going to kick in. Same thing when it gets too cold. Your hands will actually, when your hands get past the numb stage, they're actually going to almost hurt from the cold temperatures. Pain receptors have those free nerve endings. They're stimulated when tissues are damaged, and they don't really adapt all that much. So they are going to react to when there is some type of damage in your skin or tissues, deep tissues also. They are found all over other than in your brain. Like I said, there are no pain receptors in your brain. Many things can affect pain receptors. Certain chemicals can. Obviously, chemicals can damage your tissue. Lack of oxygen can also lead to a sense of pain. That one's not real common. We obviously we don't notice that much because most of us have not been deprived of oxygen. How pain receptors actually work is probably one of the least understood receptors that we have. Visceral pain receptors are found in the viscera, which would be like your more internal organs, not out close to your skin. Pain seems to come from mechanoreceptors, decreased blood flow, and also chemicals. We talked about that a little bit also. Referred pain. A lot of times when you have internal pain, it's going to be referred. So what that means is if I have a visceral pain, for example, heart attack. If someone's having a heart attack, a lot of times where do they find pain that's not in the heart area?
Like their arm.
And like their arm. That would be specifically like their left arm. That would be an example of referred pain. So when visceral pain is felt in a different body area, that occurs because somewhere there's a common nerve that hooks those areas together. So there's a common nerve pathway leading from the skin in that area and the organ that is experiencing pain. So here's some examples. Here's the heart, like I was talking about. A lot of times referred pain is going to go especially down that left arm. Liver gallbladder sometimes actually affects up into the neck area. Often it's going to be in the back, closer to where your gallbladder actually is. Other ones like kidney pain is probably one of the more common ones if someone has kidney stones and things like that. And notice that takes a large area. Urinary bladder, if you have urinary infection, it might not only affect the skin area or feel pain in the front, you may also feel it in the back, like the anal area, and even in your legs a little bit. So here's just a diagram showing where some of those referred pains might happen. So obviously there is a nerve found in this area that extends into the arm, and that's why you have the referred pain in your arm area. So here is an example, sensory pathway. So if I'm looking at my heart, it is going to pick up the sensation, I'm having a heart attack, whatever. Here would be an example of that nerve that's going to actually come from the skin also, and it's going to meet up with that same nerve that's going to actually go to your brain. This diagram not as important as the one that shows the referred pains. So pain fibers, there's acute pain and there's chronic pain. So nerve fibers are going to conduct impulses from their source, and that source might be acute or it might be chronic. Acute fibers are myelinated fibers, they're covered fibers. They carry impulses rapidly and they're associated with sharp pain. So if you ever have you step on a nail or something like that, acute pain, it's there right away. It's a sharp pain. It's not going to last forever. Chronic pain fibers are unmyelinated. They're not covered. And they conduct impulses slowly, a dull, achy. So when you're have the flu and you have that dull body ache, headache, it's not a sharp pain, but it lasts for a long time. People who have diseases like cancer and have chronic pain, it's going to last for a long time. Leah?
Okay, when people get shot in the movies,
Yep.
well, some feel it right away and some don't.
A lot of times if you have really acute pain, your body goes into shock, and that's a way of your body adapting so you don't feel that pain right away. Even if you severely break an arm, sometimes your body goes into partial shock and it doesn't hurt so much right away. It's a protective gear that your body uses. And then pain impulses are processed in the gray matter in the middle part, the center of your spinal cord. They're conducted through your spinal cord to the thalamus, part of your brain, hypothalamus, and then the cerebral cortex of your brain. Let's see. Person becomes aware of pain when the impulses actually reach the thalamus, but the cerebral cortex is what tells you how much pain it actually is. So if you go to the doctor and they say, is your pain a 1 through a 10, your brain, your cerebral cortex, is what interprets how high that level of pain is, where it's at, and whether it hurts so bad that you're going to cry or not. Gray matter of the brain regulates the flow of impulses. It can release, so enkephalins and serotonin, which inhibit the release of pain impulses. So this is another way that your body helps to slow down that pain. Serotonin is a common chemical that will inhibit pain. Endorphins are another one that actually will be released in the brain, and they provide pain control. Endorphins are that feel-good. Exercising releases more endorphins. And those there are natural painkillers that we can actually use. Opiates and morphine would be examples. And that's where we'll stop. Next time we'll start talking about special senses. And I don't remember. The nose might be first.
The sense of smell.
Smell. All right. That's what we'll do first next time.